Hey guys.
Hey everybody, Chris and Sis.
Back in the house. But we're not in a house.
We're in the outside.
We're in the outside by the Mississippi today.
That freaking river.
The Cape Girardeau River.
No profanity, because that's how we do now.
I didn't say profanity.
Nope, I almost did. Disclaimer.
These are the inner workings of our minds. We are not professionals. We are just sharing our journeys.
And today, our journey brings us to discuss
the throes of change. Also, it just started to rain.
Rain's good. I love rain. I
Yeah.
could sit in the rain. I'm not tripping. You trip?
No, I'm not
You ain't tripping. That's change.
You can already tell that the Missouri humidity is working right now.
Now I'm going to compare our lives to weather. Constantly evolving, constantly changing. You never really know what to expect. You always got to roll with that stuff. Anyways.
Like the waves of the Mississippi too. It's going in and out of the rocks right now. It's leaving debris. It's taking debris. It's just moving and flowing.
You're our water. Quite cohesive with anything that we need to be. Constantly changing, constantly evolving. You fit anywhere. Adaptable.
Yep. So, something about the throes of change. We're always amidst in them, but sometimes the throes of change are a little bit more rough than we may realize, or like we make a decision and we're like, okay, I have this thing coming up, but sometimes there's some grieving that you're going through before that change, because you're looking back, you're looking at everything that you've done.
You're still in the coal phase. You're being pressed. Eventually you can pop out that diamond as long as you take to it the right way. Give yourself time to understand it and process it. You can either make it into a really good thing, or it can turn into a bad thing that stops you up, and that's where you start kind of a cycle that repeats itself until you learn the lessons that are meant to be learned from it. Thankfully, we haven't been caught in those cycles in a long time.
Yeah, that's true. This past year I've been going through like the motions of change, and after a while it does get kind of exhausting because nothing really stays the same. It's hard to find much comfort, but I am finding more comfort just within myself, within my support group, within my life, so that way I don't feel like a certain person, a certain place, a certain time is my comfort. Because none of that is.
The more you learn these lessons, the more you find your own self-identity, and self-identity is really important too, which we'll do another spiel on that sometime really, really soon, because that's kind of where I've been lately. And every change that you adapt to just makes you stronger, to reiterate one of my favorite points that is questioned sometimes, what doesn't kill you really kind of does make you stronger, because any change that we go through, as long as we come out of it and learn its lessons, then we're always, and then you're more self-reliant, it's building self-respect, and you tend to really trust and rely on yourself more, that you can make the right decisions.
Sometimes, it's not fair whenever you're thrown in a missed change that you didn't really want, or like you weren't prepared for, and you're kind of just blindsided by it. Like, it is hard, and I'm not trying to take away from how unfair life can be sometimes, but at a certain point you look at yourself, and no matter what baggage you were left with, no matter what rocks are in your way, it's your job to navigate them at this point.
Absolutely. And we can all overcome, and we always do overcome, and we have to give ourselves credit for overcoming those things, because it's important. Don't beat yourself up for where you are right now. Look back on your journey, see how far you've come. See all the good, beautiful things that have come of it. These have been good conversations. Let's share some of the upcoming path.
I have another change coming up, and I've been a little down in the dumps about it. That's kind of just how I get. I reflect a lot, and sometimes I grieve what I haven't lost just yet, but I know I'm going to. But I also know that I'm sitting there in the moment, and I am also appreciating what led me up to there, appreciating the now that I do have, but also preparing myself for the new now that I'm going to have.
Adaptation takes time, and change always faces resistance. Those are just things to understand, because it's going to happen the way it happens. But once you accept that and, kind of reset your new path, your new focus to where you're headed, then it makes things a lot easier. You tend to flow and then really get in that new rhythm. And the more you do that over the course of life, the easier it becomes to
I think it's
make
also
that
like
adaptation.
When you have your more stagnant periods, not really stagnant, but your water is just still. Your still
Stillness.
stages.
I like that.
When you have your stillness periods, where's I going with that?
Stillness periods, no
periods.
longer in the changes of time. When you have your stillness periods, fade into change.
Lost it.
No, that's still legal.
We'll see if it comes back.
Change is ever evolving.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we just
Stillness periods. Whenever you're in your stillness periods, it's like you obtain all this new information, you know, like you're growing, you're figuring out some past things about yourself too, but you're acquiring all this information. And then there's a certain time where it's time to implement that information, where now, like, you're going to be living that information that you've just acquired.
Yeah.
And that's really hard.
You put your lessons to work.
You practice what you preach.
Absolutely.
And it's really hard.
It can be, yeah, most definitely. Because you have to work it in, just like anything else. Everything is learned and unlearned in the same way. I really do want to do a whole nother spiel on this. Like, this is why I want to
learning
do a
and
couple
unlearning.
soon. Yes, most
It is
definitely.
really raining out here.
That's totally okay.
It is fine.
So we just wanted to ramble a little bit today about the winds of change. And so ironic, man. I just love how things always work out the way that they're meant to. We come out here to shoot a video talking about the changes in life.
And then the weather changes.
Then weather throws us a fastball. But it's beautiful.
It
like,
feels so great,
it's
actually.
pleasant rain. This is nice. It's enjoyable. You know, we could have let this screw up our whole thing, but we're just going to roll with it. And, man, it's cool. You know?
It feels
in the
cool,
rain
actually.
We're enjoying the rain.
Yeah.
This is nice.
I
This
love
is
you.
lovely. I love you. And we love all of you guys. Thanks for taking the time to hang out with us again. We'll see you very soon. Check out this beard action. You don't get that? That's raw. That's raw stuff right there, baby. You love it. Love this beard.
I just have green hair to show off today.
Matches my hat. Hat of the day.
Got it. All right, love you guys.
Love you guys.
Bye.